All right, moving on to Escape Room, which I randomly picked up at Redbox. I just recorded 7 reviews for Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, so I am on a roll. Let's keep this train rolling. Now, I'm gonna give a really quick, did I like it, did I not? I really enjoyed this film. Now, this is a film, and I want to talk about this a little bit here. Not spoilers, but I want to talk about my feelings towards films like this today and how they're received by fans. But I would recommend this to people who are into more of like a puzzle, mystery kind of film, like a circle or a cube or something like that. Now, they don't play out exactly like, or maybe like almost like a movie like Exam. Anyone see that? If you like those kinds of movies, I would definitely recommend this. I know there's going to be a lot of people who think this is cheesy and lame and whatever, and I just disagree. And that's just going to move me in. And as I said, there's my opinion on it, like yay or nay. I say yay. I won't be shocked if people are like, this is lame, but I thought it was really good. I had a good time. I went in completely blind. I knew nothing about it. I saw it was at the Redbox. I saw Skeet Ulrich was in it, and Sean Young from Blade Runner, Rachel, and Randy Wayne from the new Hellraiser, Hellraiser Judgment. So just like, let's screw it. And there's actually another movie from the same year, like this year, 2017, I think. Same year though. They were both the same year. Both called Escape Room. Both have fairly similar plots. They're about these escape rooms, that they're popular now down in, I don't know how many people are actually going to them, but they're popping up popular anyway. I see them everywhere in the city now. And I've never done one, and I always wanted to, but I can never find a group of people who want to actually do it with me. So that sucks. Because I love puzzles. I love adventure games. Like the old, Monkey Island games and the old, LucasArts point-and-click adventure games. I love that kind of stuff. I love solving puzzles. I love video games with puzzles in them. My mind works like that. I adore that kind of stuff. So anyway, now moving on to something I want to talk about before. I guess I can just give a really quick synopsis for anybody who wants one. Weirdly, this movie starts, and as I said, I went in blind, so I didn't know that the cover is definitely misleading. It made me think this was going to be way more Saw-like, and I love Saw. I was open to it, but it didn't go in that direction, and I was fine with the direction it actually went in because I ended up enjoying the movie, but it just took a completely different turn, and I knew instantly it wasn't going to be Saw because this movie starts in 1887 in the Arabian desert. Very Jumanji opening. Like these guys go out and they bury a box in the desert, and it wants to be found, almost like, the One Ring from Lord of the Rings or something. So I was like, whoa, what the hell? So this is like supernatural. Okay, that's interesting. And so there's this guy who, Skeet Ulrich's character, he opens up this escape room in the city, and it used to be popular, and now it's starting to fail. It's not getting as much business as it is, so he recruits the help of a horror reviewer, and he wants him to come with a group of friends to go through his horror-themed escape room so that he can hopefully get a good review from the guy, and he'll write a good review, and it'll attract more business, and it'll save his business. And so he goes out and he tries to find something to, spice it up a little bit, to try to make it a little bit more interesting than it has been in the past. And he goes and he gets he finds that box at a secondhand antique store, and he puts it in there, and something not good is inside of it. And so the game goes very wrong, which I really like that kind of idea of, because, I've been through a lot of haunted houses, and I've been through, things like that where your guard is completely down in those places. I always think about that when I'm in those kinds of places. Like, what if there is a maniac in here? And I think that's what they want you to think. But truly, what if there is? I know Houses October Built and Fear LLC or Fear, something like that. I can't remember what that movie's called. Good movie. Another found footage movie. It's been played a few times for sure. But Fear House, fearsome? Yeah, doesn't matter. But just think about that. Like I do, like when I'm in there, I don't get scared because I know it's fake and I know I'm good, but I do have to sit there and think like, what if one of these psychos was coming at you with a knife and you're like, it's all part of the show until it's in your body. You'd be like, wait, is that real? Really feels like I'm dying. So it's crazy to think about it. So being trapped in one of these rooms and thinking it's a game, and I kept sitting there the whole time thinking like, at what point are they gonna realize like this isn't a game anymore? And it's pretty obvious when it happens, but I was just like, man, I love these kinds of setups. And as I said, it's a puzzle solving kind of adventure thing. So I'm all about that kind of stuff. Now, another thing, and real quick before I get into what else I want to say is like, I thought that there was a lot of great explanations for why things were or were not happening. Because there's a lot of moments like, why wouldn't they do this? Or why wouldn't he do that? And I thought that there was just clever, ways to explain these things. So I thought that there wasn't a lot of glaring plot holes or things you had to really just continue to keep rolling your eyes at. If you want to sit there and pick apart any movie, you can do that, and you can be like, well, why didn't they? I would just grab a rocket launcher out of my purse. That always seems to be an option to certain people online. Rocket launchers are just grow on trees, I suppose. There's so many references in this film. Like the two guys are horror fans, and so they really bring up a lot of stuff. From, just like random stuff too, like stuff that I don't really hear talk about a lot here. I have them all kind of randomly written around here, but you get like a Return to Oz reference, and Gremlins, and Halloween 5. They talk a little bit about Halloween 5. You get a Annabelle plug here. You get Saw. You get the Thing prequel, the original Thing, the Carpenter Thing. Like you get a lot of discussion of horror stuff. So you could tell this was written by a genuine horror fan. And there's other ones in here, I'm sure, that I'm missing, kind of just going through it. But, and I really enjoyed the ending. I'm not sure that when I was watching it, I was trying to figure out if I liked that the supernatural element was put into it, because it didn't need it per se. Like they could have just done that it was a crazy, like a Jigsaw type of guy that was putting him in there. But I liked the blending. Like once I kind of got over, I was like, you know what, that was cool. It was interesting that they took it in a different direction, that it ended up being more of a supernatural thing as opposed to just some psycho crazy guy that was locking him in there. But as I said, the poster of this is very misleading. There's like saw blades on the wall and none of that kind of crap happens in this movie. So I don't know what the hell that's from. Just trying to sell it as a Saw movie, I suppose. But they shouldn't, because this is a good indie horror, thriller, mystery kind of film. And I just wish that they would have had the balls to market it correctly. I'm sure that wasn't up to the director or anything. I'm sure that was the producers being like, well, Jigsaw's popular again, let's put saw blades on it. And people will think this is like, a Jigsaw spinoff or something. But something else I want to talk about, now that I'm kind of done talking about the film itself, is just, and I should probably just make a video about this because it's something I feel very strongly about, but I don't understand why people are so opposed to lesser known indie horror today that looks cheap or shitty or whatever. When we were kids in the 80s and the 90s, especially like the 90s when the VHS stores were big and we just ransacked the horror aisles and just went out looking for the next hidden gem within all the sea of horror films you never heard of. Before the internet, before you could go and find 1,000 listomanias and, letterboxes and whatever of people recommending you every lost unknown film that isn't unknown anymore. But if I post a film from the 80s that no one's ever heard of, that's lower budget, that's shitty, that has a corny title, that has a corny plot, synopsis or whatever, people are very intrigued by that. They love, and it might just be the 80s feel, I don't know. But those films just got away with so much more. People had such genuine interest in the lesser known, shittier things, and they still do. But if I post about these movies today, like Escape Room, and I've rented tons of them over the years and posted them in Facebook groups and horror groups over the years, and nobody gives a shit. Like there's been tons of them. I have like a bunch of them back here that I bought. You know, like the freaking like torture. I have a ton of them. I'm not looking at the camera now. I'm being kind of a lame at the moment, but I'm looking. I have like a whole slew of them like stuck together from films that I bought, like Torture Chamber and Speak No Evil and Fractured and oh, there's one missing here that I wanted to mention. The Midnight Game. The Midnight Game. That's a movie that I would like to review that at some point because that was like a random Redbox rental. I loved it, and I can't get anyone to watch it. This freaking here. Let's pop it up. The Midnight Game. There you go. Let's talk about a different movie for a second. I'm not going to talk about the movie itself, but this is like it was at Redbox, and you know. I rented it and I posted an American Ghost Story as well. That's another one. Super low budget, like $10,000 budget or something. And I posted it on nobody. And I recommended the shit out of it. I was like, it's great. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought I had a lot of unique ideas, like the way that they were able to utilize their budget, all that. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit. No one will check those out. But if it was from the 80s, if this movie was from the 1980s and I posted about it, everyone would be stoked about it. Everyone would be like, oh, I want to see it. Why? Is it just because you feel like the quality of the films now is shittier than the shittier quality ones then? I mean, that must be it, but I don't know. I have just as much success. Like with these ones, like the shitty ones from back in the day are pretty much in the same vein as the shitty ones now. And then the fun shitty ones are about the same amount. I find about the same, but I don't know. I give these kinds of movies chances, and other people just don't seem to at all. They're not even like, because that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm confused about, is how can they even have an opinion on all these lower budget movies that come out now if they don't even watch or pay attention to them in the slightest? And how are these, I don't know. I guess I'm just very underwhelmed with fandom these days, especially in the horror and Star Wars communities. Like, it just seems like a bunch of people who whine and bitch about everything, and they only want the classics. Like, nothing will ever be Halloween. Nothing will ever be Empire Strikes Back. And it's like, fuck off. Like, what are they supposed to do? Just stop making movies so you can bitch about that? I don't know. It just irritates me that I'll do this. 50 people will watch this. 50 awesome people. You guys are fucking rad, don't get me wrong. But it's not going to get any attention. And it's frustrating because it's a cool movie. So anyway, all right, rant over. I got to move on to the next movie, which I don't have anything good to say about, really. All right.